Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Magic with Zuby. My name is Zuby, and if you're brand new to this show is all about a little well-known card game called Magic: The Gathering. So today, we are doing another set review. We are doing Core Set 2021, and at the same time of recording this, all the Jumpstart previews are coming out too, and it's some insanity reprints and even new cards coming out. But today, these set of episodes are all going to be about Core Set 2021, my thoughts on them from a limited and casual constructed perspective. And if you want a set review that teaches you, hey, what cards to pick and not pick, then you've come to the wrong place. These are just sort of a casual normie's thoughts on each and every single card of Core Set 2021. And we're starting off with all the white cards. So if you're new to these kind of set reviews, I do each color, going from white, then blue, black, red, green, then multicolored, and then sometimes I'll do artifacts and lands on their own episode. But for this set, since there's not a lot of multicolored cards, we're going to do multicolored artifacts and lands on its own episode. So there'll only be 6 episodes of this instead of the usual 7. So before I begin, let me get some announcements out of the way. If you want to help support the show, you can support the show at Magic with Zuby, or patreon.com/magicwithzuby. You can find me on Twitter at Magic with Zuby. You can find me on Instagram at magic_with_Zuby. And you can email me with any questions you may have at mtgzuby@gmail.com. And I'm probably the worst Patreon person creator thingy ever, because we've had a new patron, and I've always said, if you sign up, I'll give you a shout out for being patron subscriber. Baltan, who's shown up on, who's been a frequent chatter with Magic for Normies, and also has shown up on my EDH streams as well too. He's decided to become a patron of the show, and thank you so much for that. Really terribly sorry that it took me this long to give you a shout out, because I'm a horrible person. I forget everything. And I can't remember if I even said the other person who became a patron too. JJ, MTG Strategist, is a patron as well of the show too. So if you want to become a patron of the show, go ahead and check out the Patreon. And, for as little as $1 a month, you can help support this show and get a shout out and, become a member of my Discord and find out what I'm working on, because there's a lot of stuff that I try to do behind the scenes in terms of, guests that I'm trying to book, RPG companion episodes I'm working on, some stream ideas that I'm trying to do, and so much more. And yeah, so, and then I also have 2 quick ads to get out of the way, and then we're going to talk about each and every single white card that is in M21.
Well, hey there, Zoe. Why the long face there, chum?
I just want to order some magic cards, but the shipping was too expensive.
Too expensive? Well, did you know if you go to legitmtg.com, you can order any magic cards, and anything over $2 or more has free shipping?
Wow, free shipping's at legitmtg.com. That's amazing.
You heard that right, Zoe. Free shipping at legitmtg.com with any order over $2 or more. Be sure to visit today and get the best deal on Magic singles and Magic sealed product available.
Wow, that's amazing!
And that is how you beat the latest standard meta with Abzan.
Ugh, it feels like there's no Magic content out there for someone like me. Someone who doesn't want to be competitive. Someone who is...
Who is a normie?
Yeah, exactly! A normie!
Well, have I got the show for you, the all-new Magic for Normies show.
Hi, I'm Pixie.
And I'm Zuby.
Together, we host the all-new
Magic for Normies.
It is the Magic the Gathering show for all your normie needs. We don't care what deck got into the top 8 or what deck is winning. We care about having fun playing Magic.
That's right, Pixie. You can watch us on Pixie's Twitch channel at twitch.tv/PixieKittenPlays and catch the VOD on our YouTube channel, Pixie Kitten Plays. If audio is your thing, you can find episodes on the Magic with Zuby RSS feed. Magic for Normies. Alright, so here we go. We are doing this a little bit different. I know in my last set review I didn't do any video, and I know with previous set reviews I tried to do video and the editing was just way too long. So I figured, I'm trying to slowly do the YouTube game here again, and while YouTube isn't my number one priority, I hear from a few listeners and some people that they like video podcasts. So I'm trying to appease those people, and with this, to try to balance it out so I'm not spending hours upon hours editing, every single card here. So I'm kind of doing it this way. I'm kind of cheating a little bit, but it's easier for me and way less editing for me to do. So starting off with all the white cards, we've got, I gotta say, M21, these cards are ridiculously cute. First off is Alpine Watchdog for 1 and a white. It's a dog creature. It's a 2/2 with vigilance. And that's it. It's a 2/2 for 2 with vigilance, and it's the cutest dog, and I'm waiting for him to rescue me. I mean, as far as playability, a 2/2 for 2 with vigilance is really good and limited. And as far as cute ability, it's probably the best white card I've seen so far in this set, and we're on the first one only. So next one, we've got Angelic Ascension for 1 and a white. It's an instant. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Its controller creates a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. So you exile target creature planeswalker, and then that controller's creature creates a 4/4 white flying angel token. I mean, there are some times where you need to get rid of that pesky planeswalker like Teferi in this set, and you got to sort of weigh the pros and cons here. You're going to give them a 4/4 angel token, but hey, sometimes maybe you want to exile your own creature and get a 4/4 white angel. Maybe you have a puny 1/1 token or something, and boom, now it's an angel. I mean, it's good. I love the fact that it targets planeswalkers as well too. There's just a little bit of a drawback, but it could also be pretty decent for yourself too. Like, what if your planeswalker is about to die anyway, and boom, you cast this, and it's like, oh my gosh, now my Teferi planeswalker is now a 4/4 angel. Teferi got his wings. Oh, another thing I must stress that I forgot to mention before is I've barely looked at the cards for M21, so some of these I'm seeing for the first time here, so these are going to be some of my first reactions. So there's that as well too. So next up, we've got Anointed Chorister? Chorister, I guess? A 1 white human cleric creature. It's a 1/1 with lifelink. You pay 4 and a 1, 4 and a white. Anointed Chorister gets +3/+3 until end of turn. So for 5 mana, you pump this up to a 4/4 with lifelink. I mean, for a common in draft or sealed, it's decent. It could become good later on, but I'd be looking for something more to do for sure. Next up, we've got Avon Gagglemaster. Okay, I like the name of that. Oh, it's a goose or a geese or a duck. It's gaggle of geese, right? 3 double white. It's a bird warrior. It's a 4/3 with flying. When this enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for each creature you control with flying. A 4/3 for 5 that's a flyer is not too bad in limited, and gaining 2 life. I mean, sometimes that can be important in limited, right? Because especially if you're going up against aggro decks, and just from kind of briefly what I've seen, there does seem to be a pretty decent aggro package in limited here. But I mean, it's not bad, maybe early to mid pick. And I love the art on this. So okay, so the goose soldier person thing is the actual, like, if you're not watching the video or anything, they look like an actual, like, flying warrior and all that. But in the background are all the geese, and of course my cat has to meow in the background of this because she won't be quiet during this. But anyways, I'm going to keep going here. And then, cat, seriously. Anyways, so next up we've got Baneslayer Angel for 3 double white. It's an angel. It's a 5/5. Baneslayer Angel is a reprint. We have not seen this since, like M11 or something, or M12? I can't remember exactly when. It's been a long time since we've seen this card. It is a 5/5 for 5. It is a mythic. Flying, first strike, lifelink protection from demons and from dragons. Pack 1, pick 1. Heck yes. Yeah. Flying first strike is awesome alone, and then lifelink protection from demons and from dragons when we know both are in the M21 set, and then plus this being a great reprint too. Great EDH card. It's great. Even a great cube card as well, too. I'm glad to see this back, and I wonder if it's going to make any kind of waves in Standard. I mean, I play like a historic Naya Angels deck, and, it kind of... I do like it. I mean, it's not the best deck or anything, but it's a pretty decent mid-range deck. I mean, I would definitely put this card in that deck. Somehow, I'd figure out a way. Next up, we've got the new Planeswalker, Basri Ket. 1 double white Planeswalker. Starts off with 3 loyalty. It looks like they're from Amonkhet too. I think this is a brand new character. They were not mentioned at all in the previous Amonkhet story, if I remember correctly. So their +1 is put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target creature gains indestructible end of turn. Okay, not bad. -2, whenever 1 or more non-token creatures attack this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. Ooh. So whenever 1 or more non-token creatures are attacking, so if you're going white weenies already, and they're all non-tokens, boom, just poop out more tokens. I like that a lot. And then their -6, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token that put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Okay, that's not bad either. For a 3 mana Planeswalker, this feels appropriately powered. This does not feel like super strong because, yeah, the -2 can be pretty strong, but on turn 2, let's say you're going, turn 1, play 1 drop, turn 2, play a 2 drop, turn 3, play this, and then -2. At most, you're going to get 2 1/1 soldiers if you're playing on curve like that, which is still really good, but it doesn't feel like super oppressive as well either. So, this to me doesn't seem... It seems appropriately costed, doesn't seem super strong. Pack 1, pick 1, heck yes for sure. Definitely going in like an EDH deck, like a token EDH deck, of course. And I like it, and I hope I like the look of this guy. He kind of looks like Killmonger from Black Panther and all that, and I kind of hope we learn more about him. Hopefully, maybe he becomes the new face of the White Planeswalker instead of Gideon. Rip Gideon, press F for Gideon. But yeah, so not a bad card. I feel like I'm going a little bit slower here, but you know what? It's what it is. A lot of these cards I'm kind of seeing for the first time here. So next up is Basri's Acolyte. For 2 double white, it's a cat cleric. It's a 2/3 with lifelink. When this enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures you control. So in something like limited, this would be almost an early to mid pick if I know I'm going heavy white, because those 1/1 counters are just going to be super useful. And just being able to pump up my creatures, I like that a lot. Next up, we've got Basri's Lieutenant. For 3 and a white, it's a human knight 3/4. It has vigilance, good. Protection for multicolored, even better. When Basri's Lieutenant enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever Basri's Lieutenant or another creature you control dies, if it had a 1/1 counter on it, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. So already we're seeing a sort of counter theme here with white, just this early in. Playing something like this, I would pack 1, pick 1 this for sure. The protection of a multicolored, from what I've just briefly seen of the set, there's not too many multicolored cards. Maybe this could be useful in Standard where there are a lot more multicolored cards. But right now, I mean, core sets have always been known to be more monocolored to begin with. So, but I like this card. I'd pack 1, pick 1 for this, and I'd try to go that white weenie theme. Like, just build up a lot of small creatures, get some counters on there, and boom, there you go. Next up, we've got Basri's Solidarity. For 1 and a white, it's a sorcery. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Not bad. I mean, I know I was talking before, like, counters are really good, but I kind of like when these kind of effects are on creatures. You get that effect on a stick where Basri's Acolyte does something similar, but it's not every creature. But this could be a mid to late pick. Next up, we've got Celestial Enforcer. For 2 and a white, it's a human cleric creature. It's a 2/3. You can pay 1 and a white and tap this to tap target creature. Activate this ability only if you control a creature with flying. So that's always handy to have in limited, where you need to tap the pesky creature. But downside is you need a creature of flying, and hopefully that's not going to be too hard for you to have should you build your sealed or draft deck. Next up, we've got Concordia Pegasus for 1 and a white. It's a Pegasus 1/3 flying. So a flying for 1/3, it could be a good booty to block with, or, maybe just decent creature to start pinging your opponent down one by one. Next up is a reprint that I'm super surprised to see, because the first printing of this card was from Commander 2014, and that's Containment Priest. For 1 and a white, it's a human cleric, a 2/2 with flash. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. This would have been so useful to have during the Collected Company days. This would have been really useful to have maybe even last core set, but now with Winota and Garuda and all that have been kind of nerfed a little bit here, and Winota wasn't banned in standard, were they? I can't remember now. I know they were like banned in what do you call it, historic, or suspended in historic at the time of this recording. But I mean, even with when Garuda was running rampant like crazy, this would have been really handy to have. It's still a really good card too, as well, because there's still plenty of ways to get stuff for free. Like Reanimator is pretty popular in historic right now, and stuff kind of effects like that. So it's not bad. It's not bad, and I'm glad to see this reprinted, because this is so useful in EDH as well. Next up, we've got Daybreak Charger for 1 and a white. It's a unicorn. It's a 3/1. When this enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Not bad. I mean, good way to pump up one of your creatures and do some more damage. Not bad. Next up, we've got Defiant Strike. It's a 1 white instant. This is a reprint. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Draw a card. I'm always a fan of this kind of card, because drawing cards is what I like to do, and white always needs help drawing cards. Next up, we've got Dubstep. 2 and a white. It's an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. Has first strike. And is a knight in addition to its other types. Rise, Knight of New Benalia. I think this was first printed in Dominaria. So I'm kind of glad to see this back, and I really like the art of this. It's very reminiscent of like Dominaria and all that. So not a bad aura. I mean, definitely kind of like mid to late pick. Next up, we've got Faith's Fetters for 3 and a white. It's an enchantment aura. Enchant permanent. Ooh, so permanent. When Faith's Fetters enters battlefield, you gain 4 life. Enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So I like this a lot, because not only is it like a pacifism for creatures, right? You can also, maybe there's that really pesky land like Maze of Ith or something. Boom, you enchant that permanent, and now they can't activate that ability now. Boom, there you go. Like it. With these kind of effects, especially if you're heavy and white, these are always kind of like early to mid picks. Next up, we've got Falconer Adept, 3 and a white. It is a human soldier, 2/3. Whenever this attacks, create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking. Ooh, I like that a lot. So a creature that's going to constantly keep producing a 1/1 white bird creature token. Yeah, that would kind of be an early pick for me if I know I'm trying to go the white weenie route in limited. All right, next up, we've got Feat of Resistance for 1 and a white. It's an instant. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. It gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. So this is always a really handy card. Glad to see this reprinted again. It's always kind of handy card to play as a combat trick in case your creature that you don't want to die gets blocked by another creature, like a red, green, blue, black creature, something like that. And super handy to have, especially up your sleeve in limited. Next up, we've got Gale Swooper for 3 and a white. It is a Griffin 3/2 with flying. When Gale Swooper enters the battlefield, target creature gains flying until end of turn. So this is pretty decent. A 4 mana 3/2 with flying. I mean, not the best power and toughness, but the fact that you can give another creature flying to possibly go over, your enemy's battlefield to attack them in the face, pretty good. I like that. I like that for like an aggro kind of mid-range white deck you got going there. Oh, excuse me. Next up, we've got Glorious Anthem for 1 double white. It's an enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. That's always super handy to have, especially if you're going white weenie and you just really want to pump up your creatures. These kind of effects are always handy to have. Now, in something like limited, would this be a pack one, pick one? I don't think so, to be honest, because I'd want to look for something that's either removal or for a better creature. Now, it's super easy to see something like this and think, okay, yeah, I'm going to get it and it's going to pump up my creatures. But sometimes something like this would not always be a best pack one, pick one, because you want to look for the removal or the better creature as well. But, something like EDH or even standard or historic, these kind of cards are always great to have. Next up, we've got Griffin Eerie. 1 and a white enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, create a 2/2 white Griffin creature token with flying. So if you've got ways to easily gain life from white, which hopefully isn't too hard from what I'm saying. I haven't seen too much lifelink. I've seen some lifelink. Basri's Acolyte has some lifelink, and Baneslayer Angel, but I'm just trying to think more common cards. Anointed Chorister. So, there's decent amount of lifelink. So, maybe this could be useful, but I would honestly look at something else for limited or sealed. If you've got ways to, constantly gain life each turn, yeah, that's good. Next up, we've got Idol of Endurance. For 2 and a white, it's an artifact. When this enters the battlefield, exile all creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard until this leaves the battlefield. You pay 1 and a white and tap this until end of turn. You may cast a creature spell from among the cards exiled with Idol of Endurance without paying its mana cost. Ooh. I'd almost want to pack one, pick one this, and just try to build around it for funsies. This, I kind of like this a lot, so even when all your creatures die, like just talking about limited here or sealed, all your creatures die, boom, you just bring them back. I like it. You can only bring one back at a time, but yeah, you may cast a creature spell from among the cards exiled this way without paying its mana cost. So you can't bring them all back, just only one at a time. But hey, I like that a lot. Next up, we've got Legion's Judgment. For 2 and a white, it's a sorcery. Destroy target creature power 4 or greater. Always decent removal. It's kind of basic removal we see with white. Next up, we've got Light of Promise. For 2 and a white, it's an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature has, whenever you gain life, put that many 1/1 counters on this creature. So you would need to make sure you're either gaining life or have lifelink. So once again, if you've got ways to get lifelink, this is pretty decent to have. Otherwise, look for something else. Next up, a reprint from, was it Guilds of Ravnica? A Makeshift Battalion. 2 and a white, it's a human soldier. Whenever this and at least 2 other creatures attack, put a 1/1 counter on Makeshift Battalion. So 3 mana, 3/2, and getting more counters, that's not bad at all. Pretty good common. I like it a lot, especially if you're going the aggro, white weenie route. That's pretty good. Next up, we've got Mangara the Diplomat. So we see another Mangara card. I think, when I did my Battle Bond card preview, I hit the mic. I spoiled the Mangara card for it. Why can't I remember the name of the card? It was the Mangara card, the one that you exile Mangara and you can exile a target permanent. So for 3 and a white, it's a 2/4 human cleric, legendary human cleric. It has lifelink. Whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or planeswalkers you control, draw a card. Whenever opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. Whew. Dang. So whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those, you get to draw a card. Then whenever opponent casts their second spell, which is highly likely, you're going to draw a card. Yeah, pack one, pick one this, and hell yes, this is going to be played a lot in EDH. This is almost kind of making me want to... I don't have a mono-white EDH deck yet, and this is kind of making me want to build mono-white EDH with this card, because it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. Okay, this next card art... This is simply amazing. It's I love it a lot. It's 9 lives, 1 double white. It's an enchantment, and it has 9 cats on here, and they're the most cutest cats in the entire world. And yeah, I know all the cats here are like other actual Magic card art and all that stuff, but this is the most amazing art. I think the only other kitty art that comes close to me loving this would be a Harmless Offering. But this is an enchantment, has hexproof. If a source would deal damage to you, prevent that damage and put an incarceration counter on 9 lives. When there are 9 or more incarceration counters on 9 lives, exile it. When 9 lives leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. So, cool. It prevents all damage to you 9 times. So, I like it. I mean, okay. Besides the art being freaking amazing, would this be playable in limited? I mean, I don't think there's any kind of, at least I haven't seen any kind of massive board wipes that exile all enchantments. If there aren't in limited or sealed, then yes, this would be decent to have. But, of course, the drawback is you want to be able to win before they have a chance of hitting you with 9 different sources and all that. So I would be very wary about playing this unless I was like absolutely sure I could play this and then win, So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it in terms of like when I think about limited, like draft or sealed. But in something like EDH where you can play solemnity or something that prevents all counters going on it, hey, more power to you. But in something like EDH with how easy it is to exile all permanents on the field or destroy all permanents on the field, I would be very hesitant about playing this at all in EDH. Next up, we've got another cute doggy card. Is Pack Leader. For 1 and a white, it's a dog creature. It's a 2/2 for 2. Other dogs you control get +1/+1. Whenever Pack Leader attacks, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn to dogs you control. Pack 1, pick 1? Yes. Only because the art is amazing. Look at all the other like doggy army people in the back, and he's the Pack Leader. Yes. And then plus, with it being a doggy general, like pumping up your doggies. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Next up is, oh my god, this is an amazing piece of art. I love this. Rambunctious Mutt. For 3 double white, it's a dog creature. It's a 3/4. When it enters battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. I mean, a 3/4 for 5, and you get to destroy artifact or enchantment. I love this. I love the flavor of this because, what do dogs like to do? They like to destroy stuff, or chew up your controllers, or, chew up your books, and your magic cards. That's why we don't have a dog. And yeah, I love this. I absolutely love this art so much. So think of it as a like limited card. This is a pretty decent limited card too because of the destroy effects. A 3/4 for 5 is not the greatest, but the destroy effect is definitely handy to have. Next up is a reprint of Revitalize. 1 and a white, it's an instant. You gain 3 life and draw a card. So I never really looked at the art of this card, and I mean, I've looked at the person in the card, but I never really looked at the background. They've got a freaking shower of arrows coming at them, and they're having to drink a potion, and they might die anyway. But dang, I kind of like this art more. I've never really paid too much attention to it. I mean, this is always a handy card to have. You get to gain some life and draw a card. Gain some life, draw a card. This even sees a lot of standard and historic play. Next up, we've got a surprising reprint. I'm very surprised to see this reprinted. And this was going up in price for a while. This has not been printed since, an early core set? Was it like 10th edition or M10? I can't remember, to be honest. We've got Ruined Halo. For double white, it's an enchantment. When this enters the battlefield, choose a card name. You have protection from the chosen card name. Now, in something like limited, how useful is this going to be really? Because unless there's like a really pesky creature for you to deal with, this isn't going to be that useful for you in a sense. I mean, I'm not saying it's not useful at all. It's just how useful is it going to be compared to getting some spot removal or a board wipe or a really powerful creature. But in terms of standard, or I mean, even EDH, this is handy to have. But in terms of something like standard or historic, yeah, this is pretty useful. I like it. I love seeing this be reprinted, and I even love it in Cube as well, too. Next up, we've got Sanctum of Tranquil Light. For 1 white, it's a legendary enchantment Shrine. So we're seeing shrines again. Okay. You can pay 5 and a white, tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each shrine you control. So I'm assuming we're seeing another set of shrines similar to Kamigawa. Maybe that's why they brought the shrines back in Historic Anthology on Magic Arena. I'm pretty sure that's probably why. So as far as this being useful in Limited, I mean, okay, so pay 5 and a white. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each shrine you control. So is it, so no matter what, is this always going to cost 5 mana then instead of 6 mana? If I'm understanding that right? Because it costs 5 and a white there, but this ability costs 1 less to activate for each shrine you control. You control this shrine. It's not saying each other shrine. So is that maybe just a mistake, or is it always going to cost 5 instead of 6? I'm kind of curious out there. Let me know what you think if I'm completely wrong on that. Next up, we've got Seasoned Hallowblade for 1 and a white. It's a human warrior creature. Discard a card. You can tap Seasoned Hallowblade. It gains indestructible until end of turn. It's a 3/1 for 2, which that's not bad. But you can discard a card to tap this. It gains indestructible. I mean, okay. I mean, it'd be cool if you just discarded a card and didn't have to tap Seasoned Hallowblade. I mean, this wouldn't... So, it's not bad because you could swing an attack and they could block. Maybe you could kill that creature and you discard a card, boom, give this indestructible, and it's already tapped, right? So that's not bad. But, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Next up, we've got Secure the Scene. It's 4 and a white. It's a sorcery. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller gets 1/1 white soldier creature token. So you exile target non-land permanent. Yeah, this is some pretty dang good spot removal. A 1/1 white soldier creature token for a really pesky permanent. Yeah, heck, this would be an early pick for me. For sure. Next up, we've got probably one of the best arts of the entire set. And I keep saying that because these cat and dog arts are freaking amazing. Selfless Savior for 1 white. It is a dog creature. It's a 1/1. You can sack this, and another target creature you control gains indestructible end of turn. But the thing is, I would never want to sack this because look how cute it is. Why would you ever do something like that? That is disgusting. Why can't this card say sacrifice another human to give this indestructible? Because look at this. How could you ever want to sacrifice this? This is, yeah, I love this card. I love this. I want this doggy as my pet and in the armor and everything. Next up, we've got Siege Striker for 2 and a white. It's a human soldier creature. It's a 1/1 double strike. Whenever this attacks, you may tap any number of untapped creatures you control. Siege Striker gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature tapped this way. So it's a double strike, and then you say you've got a bunch of tokens out, you tap all those, you pump it up to like 5/5 or something, boom, deals 10 damage. I kind of like this card. Surprised this card, back in the day, this card would have been a rare. It's, as I've said before in other episodes and even my other set review, just the power that we're seeing with commons and uncommons is just insane. This could have definitely have passed for a rare back in the day. And I kind of like this card a lot. Yeah, it could be an early to mid pick for me. Next up, we've got Speaker of the Heavens. For 1 white, it's a human cleric creature. It's a 1/1 with vigilance and lifelink. You can tap this to create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Activate this ability only if you have at least 7 life more than your starting life total, and only any time you could cast a sorcery. I mean, how often is that going to happen in something like Limited? I feel like that's not going to happen very often unless you've got some really good life gain. Maybe I'm completely wrong with that. But I mean, off the bat, this would not be a pack one pick one for me. Not unless I knew for sure I could easily gain like more life. Yeah, I mean, I could see this being useful, definitely useful in EDH, especially because there's so many ways to gain life in EDH, right? So this is kind of useful. Otherwise, I'm kind of like, it's okay. Next up, we've got Staunch Shieldmate for 1 white. Oh, yeah, and Historic with that stupid Soul Sister deck. Yeah, this would be useful as well. God, I hate that mono white deck. I hate it so much. Staunch Shieldmate for 1 white. It's a dwarf soldier creature. It's a 1/3, and that's about it. A 1/3 for 1. It's not bad, to start off with. Next up, we've got Swift Response. It's 1 and a white. It's an instant destroy target tap creature. As an instant, heck yes. Some pretty good spot removal. So useful to have. Yes, early pick. Next up, we've got Tempered Veteran for 1 and a white. It's a human knight creature. It's a 1/2. You can pay 1 to tap this, put a 1/1 counter on target creature with a 1/1 counter on it. You can pay 4 in double white, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. So, I mean, with it being pretty easy to get 1/1 counters anyway, but your best, you're going to pay 1 white mana to put a 1/1 counter on something, and boom. Early to mid pick if I know I'm going to go heavy white here. Next up, we've got Valorous Steed for 4 and a white. It's a unicorn creature. It's a 3/3 with vigilance, and when this enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. So a 3/3 for 5 that poops out a 2/2 with vigilance. They both have vigilance. Yeah, I mean that's pretty strong for a common. I like it. I like it early to mid pick. Next up, we've got Vryn Wingmare. 2 and a white. It's a reprint. This is a Pegasus. It's a 2/1 with flying. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. So basically Thalia, but without the first strike, and costs a little bit more. So non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. I mean, pretty decent. It's okay. I mean, especially if you're heavy into creatures and your opponent may not be. Pretty decent. Could be early to mid pick. And last but certainly not least for the white cards, we've got Warded Battlements for 2 and a white. It's a defender wall. It's a 0/3. Attacking creatures you control get +1/+0. Decent. It's decent. I like it. It's good. It has a good butt. You can, block with it pretty decently early on and, pump up your attacking creatures. So, I mean, not an early pick or anything, but more like mid to late pick for sure. So there you have it. Those are all the white cards of M21 Core Set 2021, and I hope you enjoyed it. So we will go on to the next episode, which will be all the blue cards of M21, and let me know your thoughts. Did I do well? Did I do bad? Did you like some of my thoughts on them? I'm trying to go a little bit more casual now instead of just purely focusing on limited like I have before. I kind of enjoy doing this more in a sense because I got to talk more casually about them and talk about the arts of them, and I enjoy doing that. I love doing the set reviews, and I get it. I understand I'm not very competitive with it. If you want the competitive edge and for pre-release and sealed and all that, there's other people that do that. If you want to hear more fun takes on the cards, hey, I'm your person, right? So thank you all for listening. Hope you all enjoyed it, and have a good night.